This is the USA Emergency Broadcast Network, your source for reliable disaster preparedness information.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this station, its management, sponsors, or other hosts. If you have any comments or suggestions about this program, please contact us at radio@usaebn.org. That's radio@usaebn.org.
Do you ever feel buried by endless to-dos, yet at the end of the week, wonder why so little truly matters? The answer isn't to do more, but to do what matters most. Imagine if just a few focused actions could transform your entire week. The secret lies in the 80-20 principle, first observed by Vilfredo Pareto and now a foundation in productivity science. The rule is simple. About 20% of your efforts create 80% of your results. Yet, without intention, our calendars fill with the trivial many instead of the vital few. Pause. Consider last week. Which moments brought you real progress or deep connection, and which filled the hours but never moved you or your family forward? This is where the 80-20 week begins. By first identifying the tasks, routines, and commitments that truly matter, you can purposefully design a week filled with clarity and meaningful growth. Here's how. Each week, set aside just 30 minutes. Start by reviewing your calendar and send emails. Where did you add the most value? Where was your energy lost? Next, prioritize. Select 3 high-impact objectives. Decide which tasks deserve your time, which should be delegated, and which can be eliminated. Finally, design. Block out your schedule for these key actions, then reserve space for renewal and family. Only then do you fit in the rest. For your calendar, protect your strategic and relationship-building moments. Batch routine tasks so your focus remains unbroken. Limit meetings to those that truly advance your goals. Group similar responsibilities into theme days. This approach turns scattered effort into sustained progress. Email, so often a thief of time, is tamed with Pareto. Batch replies. Address only what truly demands your insight and cut out noise ruthlessly. Simple rules, like the 2-minute action rule and smart templates, can reclaim hours each week. Home life sees its own transformation. Identify the core family routines, those shared meals, evening check-ins, and rituals that anchor and connect. Automate what you can, from chore charts to meal plans. Set boundaries, less last-minute chaos, fewer distractions, and more opportunity for true presence. Use simple tools like the Stop, Start, Continue worksheet to guide weekly check-ins, alone or with family. Ask, what drains us? What deserves a start? What should we keep doing? Of course, barriers will arise. Overcommitment, guilt, resistance to change. But you can overcome them by starting small. Just a single 30-minute planning ritual each week can spark powerful momentum. Imagine your calendar filled not with clutter, but with clarity. Email shrunk to its essentials. Family routines that nurture and restore, rather than exhaust. Progress and connection, not just busyness. It all begins with choosing what matters most. With the 80-20 week, you're not just organizing time, you're redesigning your life, one intentional week at a time. What if a tiny fraction of your efforts led to most of your results? This isn't a fantasy. It's the 80-20 principle, a powerful idea observed by economist Vilfredo Pareto over a century ago. He discovered that 80% of Italy's wealth came from just 20% of its citizens. But Pareto's pattern stretches far beyond economics. It's everywhere. In business, a handful of clients drive most profits. In your personal life, just a few habits deliver the biggest health gains. When learning, a small amount of focused practice creates most of your progress. The 80-20 principle reveals that not all tasks matter equally. A select few, the vital few, generate most of the value, while the trivial many soak up your precious time but yield little impact. Without intention, your schedule fills with low-value activities. Meetings, emails, chores, they all compete for space, disguising themselves as important. To change this, you must become a designer of your own time, protecting and elevating the high-impact tasks that truly move you forward. Remember, the 80-20 principle is a diagnostic tool, not a rigid rule. It helps you spot what's essential and distinguish it from the expendable. By focusing on the critical few, those tasks, relationships, or efforts that make the biggest difference, you unlock a level of productivity and fulfillment that feels almost effortless. So, ask yourself, what are your vital few? What could you stop doing today so you have more time for what matters most? The shift is clear. Move beyond reacting to what fills your calendar and start intentionally shaping a life around what truly counts. Every week holds the same number of hours, but not all actions create equal impact. What if just 20% of your efforts delivered 80% of your results? This is the power of the Pareto Principle and the foundation of the 80-20 week. Imagine cutting through noise to focus on the vital few. Instead of drowning in endless tasks, you zero in on what drives real progress, revenue, trust, and growth. That means identifying the 20% of work that leaves a true mark and giving it priority. But the 80-20 week isn't only about work, it's about life. Which 20% of your family commitments spark the most joy, bond, and meaning? Embrace those moments more often and shape your week around what matters. Obstacles often steal our energy. Most frustration often comes from just a handful of issues. Target and contain these so they hold less power over your days. This transformation starts with a simple, powerful review, a ritual of 4 essential questions. What produced the most meaningful results last week? What consumed your time but delivered little outcome? What deserves more of your attention and energy? And finally, what should you eliminate, automate, or delegate? Asking these every week brings focus, clarity, and room to breathe. It's about working smarter, building deeper relationships, and making space for what energizes you. Let the 80-20 principle guide your schedule, your choices, and your sense of accomplishment. Step into your week empowered, clear on what truly matters. The difference between busy and productive comes down to just 20%. Put your energy where it counts and watch your results multiply. Imagine stepping into each week with clarity instead of chaos. No more scattered priorities or endless to-do lists. You direct your focus toward what matters most, by design, not default. The 30-minute weekly planning ritual is your new anchor. It's a proven system that shifts you from reactivity into purposeful action, following the 80-20 principle. Focus on the vital few activities that drive the biggest results. The ritual unfolds in 3 precise phases: review, prioritize, and design. Each step is a building block for a week of intention and impact. Start with the review. Spend 10 focused minutes looking at last week's calendar and email outbox. Which time blocks created real value? Which moments were lost to needless meetings, interruptions, or busy work? Identify the patterns. Acknowledge your strongest contributions. Call out those time sinks so you can avoid them next time. Next comes prioritize. In another 10 minutes, choose the 3 most important objectives for your upcoming week. Limit your meetings to only those that propel these goals forward. Ask which tasks can be delegated, postponed, batched, or deleted. Saying no to the trivial makes space for the essential. Finally, shift to design. This final 10 minutes is where your intentions become reality. Block your calendar for high-impact objectives first. Protect time for family and renewal next. Only then, allocate space for routine tasks. Batch your email blocks. Design your week to support what matters most. The result is striking. Your schedule no longer controls you. You control your schedule. Each day, you make progress on what matters instead of reacting to urgent distractions. This 30-minute ritual is where productivity meets purpose. Make it your anchor. Feel the shift from overwhelm to clarity, from scattered to strong. Your week is waiting. Make it intentional. Ever feel like your calendar controls you instead of the other way around? Imagine cutting through all the noise and reclaiming your time. That's the power of applying the Pareto Principle, focusing on the critical 20% that drives 80% of your results. Start by identifying your high-value time blocks. What moments truly move the needle for you? Prioritize strategic planning, driving revenue, building your skills, nurturing key relationships, caring for your health, and honoring the commitments you hold most dear. These must sit at the heart of your schedule. Next, block out these critical moments when your energy is at its peak. Guard them fiercely. This is non-negotiable time. It's where your impact and your sense of control grows. Then, turn your sights on the trivial many. Unnecessary meetings, endless administrative work, relentless context switching. Recognize them for what they are, distractions. Minimize or eliminate these wherever you can. Every minute you reclaim is a gift back to what matters most. Now, bring order to the chaos with batching and theme days. Cluster similar tasks together: communications, errands, family systems, creative projects, or deep focus work. Dedicating a day or even a block to one theme leverages the Pareto effect. A handful of long, focused sessions will always deliver more than a calendar scattered with small tasks. When you apply the Pareto principle to your calendar, the shift is immediate. Instead of feeling scattered, you direct your attention and energy where it counts every single day. Reimagine your week, take back your focus, and start seeing the impact you deserve. If your inbox feels overwhelming, you're not alone. Most professionals lose hours daily to email noise. The Pareto Principle reveals that 20% of your effort drives 80% of your results. For email, this is transformative. Focus on emails that require judgment, leadership, key decisions, urgent objectives, or family matters. The rest is clutter: status updates, CC chains, notifications, promotions, and habitual replies. Minimize these. Batch your email checks to 2 or 3 times a day. Don't let your inbox interrupt your flow. Use the 2-minute rule. If an email takes less than 2 minutes, handle it immediately and move on. Sort emails into 4 categories: act, schedule, delegate, or delete. Process with purpose. Unsubscribe aggressively from promotional lists and notifications. Cut out the noise. Use templates and canned responses for recurring replies. It's a massive productivity boost. With these strategies, expect to cut your email time by 50 to 70% in the first month. Stop letting your inbox dictate your day. Take control. Focus on the vital few. Transform email into a tool for progress. Imagine if just a few routines could strengthen your family's bonds and make daily life feel easier. It's possible, and it's at the heart of the 80-20 principle. In business, the 80-20 rule helps us identify the vital few that create the most impact. Applied at home, this mindset reveals that a handful of routines create most of our emotional connection and stability. Start by asking, which moments matter most? Shared meals, gentle bedtime rituals, simple weekly outings, and honest check-ins. These are often the core routines, the 20%. When tended to, these routines nurture trust, connection, and predictability for everyone. Yet, it's easy for family time to get buried under last-minute decisions, lost items, and endless screen time, the 80% that drains energy without adding meaning. By naming your family's 20%, you can create space for what matters. Choose 3 to 5 core rituals to anchor your week. Maybe dinner together, a Saturday hike, a family meeting, and a bedtime story. Ritualize them, make them special, and keep them consistent. For the time drains, simplify and automate where you can. Create a visible meal plan. Use simple chore charts. Try a Saturday reset where everyone pitches in. Set firm boundaries around devices and obligations. Most importantly, hold a quick family check-in each week, 10 quiet minutes to share what's working and what's creating friction. Small changes ripple out. When you focus on the vital few, warmth and calm start to fill the house. Stress softens and connection deepens. This week, invite your family to discover their own 80-20 and watch simple routines shape a stronger, happier home. Imagine gaining control over your week, cutting what drains you, starting what moves you forward, and reinforcing what truly works. That's the promise of the Stop, Start, Continue worksheet, used by professionals and families who value clarity and impact in their routines. Here's how it works. The Stop section helps you pinpoint habits, meetings, or routines that waste time and energy. Start is for new high-impact actions, directly tied to your most important goals. Continue reinforces the habits and rituals that already bring results and strengthen relationships. To maximize these changes, leverage practical tools. Try time blocking with digital calendars to protect your priorities. Batch your emails for fewer interruptions, and use habit trackers to visualize your progress. Priority matrices combine the Eisenhower and Pareto principles for smarter decisions, and automating bills, groceries, and recurring tasks frees up your attention where it matters most. By reviewing and acting on these categories each week, you'll reduce overwhelm, improve coordination, and steadily build a more intentional life. Start with clarity. Stop what drains. Start what matters. And always continue what works. Every successful change begins with facing the barriers that hold us back. The real obstacles aren't ideas. They're the hidden, daily challenges that slow us down. Let's tackle 5 of the most common implementation barriers and discover practical, powerful ways to break through. First, overcommitment. It's tempting to take on everything at once, but when commitments stack up, burnout follows. The solution? Renegotiate your commitments every single week to stay agile and in control. Second, guilt over prioritization. Many feel guilty for setting limits, fearing they'll let someone down. But the more we say yes to everything, the more we say no to what truly matters. Prioritization is essential. Third, a lack of boundaries. If your day is fragmented by endless messages and meetings, it's time for a change. Use time blocking and limit email windows so you control your schedule, not the other way around. Fourth, habit fatigue. Trying to overhaul your workflow overnight always backfires. Instead, start with one simple 30-minute weekly ritual and let progress grow naturally. Finally, family resistance. Change at home can be challenging, but start with quick victories: a smoother morning, a faster evening, a calmer weekend. Small wins build trust and momentum. The barriers are real, but so are the solutions. Choose the one step you can take today. Progress starts with action, and every barrier you overcome makes space for what matters most. You have the power to redesign your days and reclaim your focus. Imagine if your week wasn't driven by endless tasks, but guided by purpose. The 80-20 week isn't just another productivity hack. It's a blueprint for living intentionally, with clarity at the core. Apply the Pareto Principle to your calendar, email, and family routines to create space for what truly matters. Suddenly, your schedule isn't just full, it's meaningful. The most important work gets your focus. The greatest progress takes center stage. The relationships closest to your heart come alive with new energy. Clarity replaces chaos. Margin allows you to breathe. Momentum carries you forward week after week. All it takes is one simple shift, a 30-minute planning ritual once a week. It's the heartbeat of a life designed for meaning, not just busyness. Start with that moment for yourself. Shape your time around what matters most. Watch your days transform.